You've bought an item from a Facebook store. You want to return it. Chances are they've given you two options. Keep the item and you get a 50% refund. Second, you return the item back to them and they give you a full refund. The problem is the cost of shipping it back to them is as much, if not more, than the cost of the item itself. If this is true, I'll make two more guesses on your purchase. First, it took 2 to 3 weeks for your items to arrive at your doorstep. Second, your shipping was likely free. If all of these are true, then I'll explain to you why it's so difficult for you to get a refund on your item. If my past statements were correct, then chances are you bought from a store that's an upseller, a retailer. There are many on Facebook and Instagram. These stores retail their items from AliExpress. I'll make a full video about that next week, so if you're interested in that, subscribe to the channel. But just sticking to the shipping on this video. Returning the items to them will cost 2 or 3 times the price of the item because most of these items are shipped from China. But how can their shipping to you be free? Now, items from China are shipped to the US and to other Western nations at a very low cost due to a treaty called the Universal Postal Union Treaty. This is a 144-year-old treaty, so very old, that was created to help developing nations ship and trade with developed nations. This was basically to, instead of providing aid to these nations, you help them develop long-term by allowing them trade with wealthier nations. In this case, small, minute items that otherwise would cost too much to ship, like that bowl, that cup, that shoe, that shirt you bought from one of these stores. While shipping from Amazon may cost you just $5 to $10, if you're shipping the same item directly from China, it will cost a whole lot more to ship. So these countries came together and created a postal union that would allow the shipping be as if they were shipping through one service instead of many services. So it's like using USPS from China all the way here. The postal service in the US or in your country would price the items as if they were shipping them from within. So what does this mean practically? This means that when a seller is shipping an item from China, they get very low cost. Because of that, the Chinese authorities and even now Alibaba and AliExpress have created their own services. The most popular of which is called ePacket. With ePacket, you can ship an item from China to the US or other Western nations for $1 or $2. If I go over to AliExpress right now, where most of these stores get their items from, and you searched, let's say, men's shirt, when you scroll down here, you can see that United States via AliExpress standard shipping here is free. Now, you come here, you observe that if you're shipping via EMS or via DHL, the costs significantly go up. And the time here as well is significantly more, especially for this one. It's November 12th. So you can get it free shipping and get it earlier through AliExpress standard shipping instead of using the regular DHL services that will cost you more, or in this case, the regular EMS services that will cost you more and take a longer time. If you took another item here, you would see the same thing. Shipping to the United States via AliExpress standard shipping is free. ePacket allows small items that weigh below 4.4 pounds or 2 kg. Using this, the Chinese manufacturers in AliExpress or Alibaba can afford to ship to you in the US or any other Western country for very cheap. These stores take advantage of this. When they create their stores, they put it there, free shipping, which is a great service. In return, they get the same free shipping from their manufacturers or their sellers. Now, why doesn't it work in the reverse? Well, because first of all, ePacket is a Chinese service that ships from China. But secondly, because the treaty only goes one way, from developing countries to developed countries. So if customers in developed countries want to ship their items to developing countries, they have to pay the regular price. And that's why you get the $50, $60, $70 price tag to ship your items back to China. Now the Chinese manufacturers and these stores know this. This is a problem for them. So how can they create good or better customer service if they have to require that you send the item back to them and it's going to cost you sometimes 3 times, 4 times what it cost you to buy the item? Well, they do this by offering you a partial refund. You see, if you keep the item, let's say you bought the item for $50 and it cost them nothing to ship it to you, and they offer to refund you 50% of what you bought. That's $25. So you keep the item and you get back $25. Well, the other $25 covers the cost of the item itself. Where they bought this item, they likely only spent $10 to $12 or even $20 to buy it. So by charging you $50, they're able to make a profit, or at the very least not make a loss. Now many times you don't want these items in the first place. You want to send it back because it doesn't look as it did in the image, or there's some rip or some other damage. Now other stores tell you that they're not going to give you any refunds at all, and yet still other stores tell you they're only going to give you any kind of refund if you send the items back. This is terrible customer service. So what do you do? Well, if you don't like the item and the item is really terrible, one thing you can do is dispute the purchase with your credit card provider. There are some stores like Blarokun that are just so blatantly terrible. The items you receive in the mail are so different that it warrants this. In fact, Blarokun sometimes creates designs and they just print it on hoodies instead of the actual hoodie made in that way. Stores like that deserve that kind of action, and take the partial refund. That's okay too. Thirdly, if you don't like the items at all and the store refuses to give you any kind of refund, push back on the store. It's human beings at the other end of this. If you push back long enough, they're likely to give you some kind of refund. And if you feel just blatantly ripped off and this is a lot of money, then get a lawyer. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching, and remain careful in all your purchases on Facebook, Instagram, and any other online store. See you guys in the next one. Bye.